YouTube is working this week, because last week I tried to do this and it wasn't working. Obviously nobody's here yet, but that's all right. We're gonna get this going because there's a few people that kind of rewatch this once in a while, so is what that is. Love how the camera shakes a little bit when I start it up. And that's what the stock exhaust. Alright, just got to set up a couple things in here before I get on the road. Hey, one thumbs up. Somebody joined in. Thank you for that. Just waiting for Bill Payne. What's up? Anthony, how you doing today? All right, I gotta refill my coolant temperature, which if you saw me a couple weeks ago, I did this and I screwed up because the damn schedule update came up on my screen and didn't get it. By the way, this is something I hate about these cars. Like, performance pages takes forever to load. There we go. Now it's loading up. Come on. There we go. Okay, that's what I was wanting. Now with that, we can get on the road. What's my goal this year? Good question. My goal this year, well, I said, you know, since I hit my 10-second quarter mile, my goal is really to break 9s, which is the next logical step. But part of that's going to depend on direct connection and when they come out with the stage kits for 392s. Last I heard, somebody said that they had talked to Dodge SRT and they had claimed that 92 kits. Don't know how accurate that is, but at least it's something. But also I don't know what else I'm going to do. This year's kind of tough financially, so that's why I haven't really done as much. I didn't get a chance to go to Orlando for the first Modern Street Hemi shootout race this year. Now I'm saving up. I gotta make sure there's a couple races I have to go to, one being Detroit in August and the second is Hollywood Party in Kentucky in September. Those are my two must go to races this year, so kind of have to sacrifice a little bit right now to make sure I can make those happen. So my goal this year, I guess, to make a couple races, win some stuff, hope direct connection comes out. Really intermediate goal, really, hold on a second. I hate that. My car keeps wanting to update and I keep telling it no, I don't want it to update. I would like to hit 10s again in warmer weather, more normal weather. Oh, by the way, check this out. If you're don't know about Texas, those are blue bonnets. That's a Texas state flower. Actually kind of cool looking. They're only out this time of year. When you come to, if you ever live in Texas, or if you're from Texas, it's like mandatory. You have to get family pictures sitting in blue bonnets. Anyway, yeah. So I would like to be more consistently in a 10. So that's kind of like an intermediate goal for now. All right, I think I saw a couple things come through there. Anthony, oh, your performance page just takes a long time to get. Parts are hard to get, yeah. Well, at least all the help care of. I know. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it around a little bit, let you guys. Yeah, the Hellcat guys, they're finally getting their stage kits. They're supposed to be shipping next week, actually. And I know a couple people already have appointments at a power broker to get the stage kits put in. Alright, hold on, gotta get merged over here. This is where, like, a couple different exit ramps. You got people trying to turn right, other people trying to turn left, and other people not knowing what the hell they want to do. And so I just gotta navigate my way through this little part right here. Okay, I'm good now. So I will keep flipping the camera back and forth because I normally don't like to be on camera, but I started doing these lives and I figure it's something I gotta start doing. Now, what I'm gonna talk about today kind of is really my next race, which is in 2 days, the Big Showdown 4, dubbed YouTubers versus the World, although it used to be YouTuber Call Out, now it's YouTubers versus the World. For those that don't know, I am part of Team Boostain. I've been trying to work into an eventual sponsorship deal, possibly with a power broker. I've been talking to them for quite a long time, and because of the delay in the stage kits, they kind of cut their sponsorship money. I don't know how I would get it anyway, but they did put together this Team Boostain, so they added me onto it. Basically, I get like a hat, a shirt, a can of Boostain, I guess, and just kind of represent during the race for the Big Showdown. So I'll be there in that capacity and for myself to race. No racing, North Carolina. Ring keeps hanging around me. Yeah, I think I saw that because I've been, I follow Rockingham. Because I did the Hemi shootout and Dan Van Hoort just bought that track. I saw the stuff he did to it. And I noticed that some races have been canceled. I think those Mopars at the Rock or something like that was supposed to happen, and they moved it to November. So I would like to get to Rockingham again this year. I'd like to see what Dan has got all done over there at that track. I know he laid like 800 feet of new concrete, got a new timing system, redid the staging lanes. So I'd like to see that track, see what all he's done to it. Yeah, cool to just get some. Yeah, the Boostain thing for sure. And I have used Boostain before. I used it one time in Kansas last year when the DA was like crazy 5,000, and I was really struggling to make the 11.5 index. I was struggling. I didn't even hit the 11.5 index. So the best I do was 11.7. I think I ran about a high 11.6 after I put Boostain. So I had a can of Boostain with me. Didn't really plan on using it, but I needed all the help I could get, so I threw it in the tank. And it definitely did make a difference. I noticed a difference. As the day got hotter, I was actually started going a little quicker, and then eventually just kind of staying the same. Whereas I should have been getting slower and slower. So it definitely did work for me that day. And we'll see what it does for me this Saturday. Hopefully I get some races in. That is something I'm worried about. And one of the reasons I kind of want to talk about that. Yeah, 5,000 normal at Las Vegas. That's true. 5,000 is normal. For me, that was the highest DA I've ever ran this car in. I've never been in a higher DA than that. But I was still in the 11s, which is nice. But yeah, I was looking at, there was someone posted a run they just did in that 30. It was funny because one person was like, your times are way off, man. They didn't even notice that the slip was from Vandermeer, which is in Colorado. And at the time of that run, the DA was like 8,000. Like, that's why the numbers are way off. So 12.1, pretty good for 8,000 DA. Oh, we have some, B. Mason entered the chat. Wow. That's for, and your best time there is 11.8. Tell me about that. That's pretty good for Vegas, but that goes in that whole Demon 170 and why they didn't show the times. Because if you know, you're not running good times in Vegas. But yeah, so hopefully I get some run-ins this Saturday at the Big Showdown. I'm not too optimistic. I don't know if any of you are from around Texas. Good day, his Band B Mason from the chat. That'd be something to Band B Mason from here, considering I don't have any mods or anything yet, so I've got no one to ban anything, and I'm driving right now, so clearly I can't ban anyone. But yeah, if you're around Texas, come out this Saturday. It'll be fun. I think it's like $25 for spectators to get in. They're still paying you can race, but it's going to be more a grudge style race. Which isn't really my style, but you know, I'm hoping to go up against some Mustangs at least, because believe it or not, in the 2.5 years I've had this car, all the races I've done, I have yet to race a single Mustang. I'm not sure how that happened. Raced a couple Camaros, but well, part of it is because I'm always racing in the Hemi shootouts, so and in the Hemi shootouts there's only one Mustang that runs in them, and that's because he's got a Demon crate inside of his engine bay, and that wouldn't be a race if I raced him. 297, what's up? Today is not Wednesday. No, it's not Wednesday. Today's Thursday. Thursday's my day. Thursday is a day, my one day of the week, that I have to go drive into the office for work. The rest of the week I just work from home. So I figure, you know, that's why I do this weekly now. Home, and my commute is about an hour long, which is a good amount of time for a chat. You guys keep me company while I'm on the road dealing with Dallas drivers, so I get really pissed off at. I have a little bit of road rage anger management issues I got to deal with. But you guys help me with this. When I'm doing these streams, I actually have that in check. I don't get as mad. The drive is just more pleasant and fun. Oh, you always thought it was Wednesday? Nope. Always Thursday. I don't know if maybe I tried to do it Wednesday one time, a long time ago, I don't remember. But yeah, so it's always Thursday, always at 6. I actually could leave the office a little bit earlier, but then I have even more traffic to deal with. And I think this Challenger was trying to show off. He's way over there. Yeah, he zoomed by me kind of quick, but here's Dallas traffic for you. Oh, what's this? There's a Durango behind me. Is that an SRT? Durango RT. All right, fine. Just had to get around a little bit of traffic there. I stayed within the speed limit. Thank you. And you know what? This is just stock exhaust. Completely 100% full exhaust. I don't do a mid-muffler delete. It's got the stock mid, stock resonance, stock everything. The only difference is I do have the active exhaust delete, which I wired open and removed the actuators because I got the Z Auto plug, so that, you know, weight reduction, I dropped the 2 pounds of the actuators. But yeah, the stock exhaust sounds good on these things. I do wish it rumbled a little bit more at idle, but when you get on it, yeah, they sound good. And it sounds good on the stream. I had one dude a couple streams ago, I got on it, he said he started watching the replay and he was driving his Pacifica minivan. And he said right when he went to pass somebody was the exact moment in my stream when I stomped on it. And so he said he kind of lived vicariously at the moment, pretending his Pacifica was doing that. Rumble scripts. So yeah, so the Big Showdown, it's Demonologies of Demonology and Donkmaster. And they started the whole race with Demonology versus Donkmaster, and they're still having that same race. But this year they've got a lot of other YouTubers coming out. They have Weston coming out, Onda Gas, Freddy LSX, Torado Racing. There's a bunch of people coming out. Drag Times, I think, is going to be out there. So Donkmaster and Demonology each has a race at like every half hour, starting at 5 o'clock up until their race at 9:30. And I'm going to be completely honest. Actually, I'm going to keep going this way. I'm not really, dude. Sorry, somebody's like, every year when Demonology and Donkmaster have their races, I swear it takes like an hour of prep time and people taking bets and grudge style racing. If you see grudge, it's like, everybody's up there and doing what they're doing and setting it up. And I swear it's like an hour every time. And now this year, seeing that they have a race every 30 minutes, to be honest, I don't know that there's going to be time for anybody else to race. So I'm not too optimistic that I'll get a lot of runs. I'll do what I can. Hopefully being on Team Boostain kind of helps get me to the front of the line, at least to get some races in, but we'll see. I think their last race is like at 9:30, and then there'll be a little bit of grudge racing, so. But man, it sucks. The weather's actually supposed to be pretty decent in Dallas. DA is going to be, I want to say, about 500 up to a positive 1,000, which is pretty good. April in Dallas, I mean, normally we're at 2,000 and above. Missed something here. Oh, I was looking at those Durangos with the tow and go, but I don't know. They're just. It looks like they can. For my the car, obviously, the Durango tow and go definitely handle that no problem. I know that. But we have that 25-foot RV, and I don't know how I feel about a Durango towing a 25-foot RV. I know it's like, I looked at the tow ratings and all that, and I think it's within limits, but Durango's not very big, so it's like a good-sized trailer behind not a very big vehicle. It is 5,300 dry, loaded up with everything. It's probably more around 6,300, 6,500. I did go over the scale one time. This was with my Ram. The Ram and the trailer together came in about 12,500 pounds. So that's on. Yes, the trailer's right around 6,000, 6,500 pounds when it's loaded up with all the stuff. And a tongue weight on it is like 710 pounds. So I know a tongue weight's supposed to be like 10 to 15% of the weight, and it's on the higher end of that. So no demon was found. Nope, no demon was not found. I had a bunch of people calling tips, a bunch of people, one guy said Huffines in Louisville, close to me, doesn't charge markup, but I never verified if they didn't or not, but they were all gone, their allocations were gone pretty quick. I had another dealer in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and it's a buddy of mine actually got they're selling for high prices. But I heard they were full SRP only also, and they had, I think, like 8 or 9 allocations. Sorry, had to get in front of this Mercedes over there. But they ran out of their allocations in like a day, which makes me believe that they probably did actually sell them at MSRP, because they got rid of all their allocations like right away. So, but those are only 2 that I've heard of that were MSRP. I thought Steve White in North Carolina was an MSRP dealer, but apparently they put a $10,000 markup, Michael, which is like nothing compared to majority of places. But at that point, I'm just like, why? They were always like, no fees, no markup, no BS. And then I heard they did a 10,000 markup, and I was just like, what's the point of that? Like, do you really need 10,000? I mean, whatever. It is what it is. I'm not getting one, so it doesn't even matter anymore. But, you know, I guess it's kind of peer pressure. Once like 95% of dealers are marking things up, it's like I feel like the good dealers just really caved into that peer pressure. But yeah, so no demons. The only shot of me getting one now would be like if by some miracle Dodge actually built all the ones they've allocated and opened up a little bit more, which someone said that they've actually haven't allocated all 3,300. They've only allocated like 2,500. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I've heard, which would make sense. But I mean, that's like perfect world and things go perfectly. You know that's not going to happen. I'm sure there's going to be delays and parts issues and things like that. So not holding my breath, that's for sure. And honestly, I think I'm okay with that, because I love my 1320 and I do not want to get rid of it. I really don't. Then like I said, the Demon 170 was the one thing, the only thing. Well, there's one other thing I'd be willing to get rid of my 1320 for. But it's not something that they're making or will make. But I always said, if they came out with a Ram, like a TRX, except a drag version, kind of like the old SRT10, because I am a truck guy at heart, and I've always raced Rams. So if they actually came out with a street/drag version of a Ram, that might be the only other case I might get rid of my 1320. Other than that, this car's not going anywhere. I think the TNT is rated for 8,700 and has a brake controller built in. You know, that's actually my Ram is rated that exact same number, 8,700 pounds. Obviously, my Ram is an actual full-frame vehicle, and that was the other thing I was kind of concerned about. Is the Durango is not a full-frame vehicle, but yeah, I do wish my Ram had the brake controller. I would have got it because, I mean, Chaos Motorsports, they actually sell the OEM brake controller kit, but you just have to go to the dealer and get programmed. And, you know, I was like, well, I'm trading the truck in, so I have no reason to get it. And then, of course, things are what they are, and I still have the truck, and I'm probably going to keep it for a while. Just because prices are crazy. With the weight off, did I gain any mile per gallon? You know, I have no idea. You would think I have gained mile. I mean, it would make sense. Scientifically speaking, this car should have better miles per gallon, being that it weighs so much less. But the problem is I'm sure the same problem with a lot of you. You have a car like this. It's like it's so hard to worry about mileage, and at least for me, like. The one time I did it was actually, I don't know, B. Mason, you're still in here, but it was the the private rental that we were in over a year ago, where I ran my 1103 when I was, you know, didn't quite hit my 10. Leaving the track that day, I was actually testing out the MDS system. So on my way home, it was a 300-mile trip from Houston to Dallas. I actually played nice. I put on cruise control, like 75 miles an hour. Which is still high because I can't go much slower than that. And a lot of the freeway is 75-mile speed limit there. So that was one of the rare times I was able to kind of control myself, resist the temptation to get on it. And I think I want to say that I hit like 23, 24 miles per gallon, something like that. Not great, but I was averaging, like I said, like 75 miles an hour. Hell with them. They are calling customers and prohibiting options for all of the cars, not offering colors, caliper covers. Nope. I don't know why the chats disappear before I get to finish it. What is the point? Yeah, you know, I've heard they've been kind of restricting options. Now, I'm not sure that is like the 1320. I'm sure a lot of people have said, I know, I've heard from a lot of people, you know, they were trying order without the plus group or rear seat delete, just passenger seat, and then they're saying dealers are saying no, plus group only. But I've heard another thing that they're doing, and again, rumor, I don't know how true this is. I've heard some dealers have been playing games where they're taking deposits from people, ordering cars with more options or more sellable, and screwing people over. Again, how true that is, I doubt it's that rampant, but I wouldn't surprise me if there was a dealer or two playing funky games like that. But yeah, it's all these, and I think too, some of it is this last call. I don't know, they're trying to save certain parts for certain trims or certain cars. I really don't know. Like, I've heard that they've stopped letting people order the 1320. Could that be because, like, okay, we know the 1320 shares some parts with the Demon, suspension parts, things like that. Are those same parts in the Demon 170? So they want to make sure they have the parts they need for that over the lowly little slow cheap 1320? Maybe, I don't know. I'm sure there's some slow parts. 23 mile per gallon is good at Texas speed limits. Yeah. I mean, if I really wanted to test, I could have tried going slower, but I can't be going slower than the speed limits. At least I wasn't on that. We do have, for those not from Texas, there's one road between Austin and San Antonio, and I think they have like an 85 mile per hour speed limit. So at least I wasn't on that one going that fast. But yeah, I think I got like 23.4, 23.5, and that was with MDS, letting MDS kick on. So what I did on my drive down to Houston that morning, I drove like I normally would, kept it in full, manual shifting to keep the MDS off, because I was trying to do that comparison of with MDS versus not MDS. And I think on the way to Houston, I got like 21 and a half, no, 22. So on the way back with MDS, I had about 1.5, 2 mile per gallon better in that short, like I said, it's like 310 miles from former Houston Raceway Park to my house, which, for those that don't know, Houston Raceway is no more, sadly. In case you haven't seen pictures spreading around online, they've already started tearing it down. Like, the bulldozers are already out there knocking the walls down, knocking a tower down. Like, they ain't wasting time. At least some went to good things. So, Thunder Valley Raceway in Oklahoma. Oh crap, I missed my exit. Oh well. Thunder Valley Raceway in Oklahoma City, they actually bought the rotator and I think one other piece of equipment from Houston. So, and they actually showed pictures. Like Monday, they had somebody drive down to Houston, grab those. So those are now in Oklahoma City. So at least some of it lives on in some ways. Texas 130 people. Oh yeah, I think you're talking about the road between Austin and San Antonio. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And they, I remember when they first opened that up, they did this whole spectacle where they had some local speed shop or somebody, I forgot who it was, and they had it was either a Camaro, or I think they had a built Camaro and a Lamborghini. They had a couple like crazy fast cars, and the cops were involved, and basically they let them run as fast as they could down this road that had this 85 mile an hour speed limit. And it was kind of like promotional, like, hey, we're about to open this, but secretly it's a toll road. They said part of it was they were testing their toll system and trying to see, like, if, it works good enough to catch a fast car. And I don't know if it was Camaro or the Lamborghini, whatever it was, something went through the toll booth at like 200 miles an hour, and the toll booth did catch their plate, and it did catch them, from what I remember. So if you think speeding up through the toll booth is gonna prevent the cameras from picking you up, you're wrong. It's not, at least that one that they have here in Texas. That was several years ago, though. Anthony, your 1327 DS has never been mine either, except for the couple times I did videos where I was showing it or testing it. Or actually, I take that back. There was one time in Detroit that I got caught with almost no gas. This was last August, and I was driving through downtown Detroit, and I was running really low on fuel. And this car, this is the only car I've ever run completely out of gas. Luckily, I was still parked in my garage. I just starved with fuel pumps, and I was scared of getting stranded in downtown Detroit. And I'm from Detroit, so I know what it's like there. And if anybody's from Detroit, you know, you don't want to get stranded in downtown Detroit, at least unless you're at the good part of downtown Detroit, which is a small area. So for that little spot, I actually let MDS kick in because I was like just trying to get as good a mileage as I could to make it to a gas station that wasn't in the bad part of Detroit, because there have been quite a few cars stolen at gunpoint at the gas station while filling up on gas. And I hate that. Obviously, who wouldn't hate that? But that's my hometown. So it's like admitting that's how bad it is out there sucks, but it is what it is. And another demon just got stolen out there too. I'll bring that up here in just a sec. Let me just see what's going on in this chat. Mike Mashad, welcome to the chat. Hoping to get some cold weather, time slips next week in Wisconsin. Well, I would think Wisconsin you should in April. Heck, I know up there, Michigan, we used to get frost still like Mother's Day, you know, in May, end of May, we'd still be getting frost. Oh, but then you hit 1,500 miles, stop trying to street, Anthony. Yeah, only used at the racetrack now. Yeah, I wish I could do that. Didn't know there was a good side in Detroit. There used to not be. There used to not be a good side of Detroit, which I always joked around, like Dallas and a lot of towns. You have a good part and a bad part. For some reason, the bad part is always on the south side. But you always have a good part, whereas the real deal is always going to be Detroit. I mean, come on. But yeah, I used to say, and I hated saying this, there was no good part of Detroit. There was no south side, north side, east side, west. It was just all bad. Didn't matter what part you were in, all bad. But they started doing this thing where trying to attract tech companies to come in and cutting bureaucratic red tape. And they got smart. So what they did, instead of all their police, law enforcement being spread out all over the city, not be able to manage anything, they basically concentrated them all in one spot in downtown, like off Woodward, by the riverfront, there's a Campus Martius Park, and they concentrated most of their police force there. So they actually cleaned up one spot. So now there is one good spot in Detroit, which when I went there the other year, I was walking around, I was just like jaw dropped open, like I couldn't believe that like you could just walk on the street of Detroit. It was so weird. Hopefully that spreads to more than just that one little spot in downtown, because the rest of the city is like house with a person that refuses to move after living there 80 years, next to an abandoned lot, next to a burnt down house, next to a crack house, and that is what it is. So but yeah, and actually I don't know if you guys saw, so there's one guy with a demon, and he lives somewhere around the Detroit area. His was just stolen either this morning or I think it was yesterday. His was stolen, which really, I mean, it always really sucks, but this guy actually used his demon. Like, he drove it. He had pictures of it, like, looked like he was in Moab and Utah and in the mountains, and I mean, he drove it all over the place, and it sucks. And have another Hellcat Charger stolen here in Fort Worth the other day. Read another Charger. It's horrible. Like, the steps I'm taking, like, I drove this car to my work, and I work for a company where we do like security and automation, and we have some cameras in the front lot. But like, this demon that was just stolen in Detroit was parked in a gated area, and he was only away from it for 10 minutes in broad daylight, and they got through the gated area, got in there, and just took off with the car, like in less than 10 minutes. So yeah, when I take this to work like I did today, like, I do some crazy stuff. Like, well, first I turn all the cameras on my desk that are over my car, and I'm pretty much watching this security cameras of my car all day long. And I told him, I'm like, I don't get as much work done in this office because I'm spending half of it just watching my car, because I work kind of right by DFW Airport. It's kind of an industrial area, so It's okay. It's somewhat safe. I mean, we have this huge little trailer mounted camera skid, literally 2 parking spaces next to my car. But I mean, there's been so many videos of thieves. They don't care that there's a camera there. So, but I watch the car and I do other stuff like between with all my gutting, I kind of shuffle things around, move things around, hit things, you know, like that CAN bus start connector, whatever you call it, that they hook into and start your car. I've got that kind of secured in a different spot. Like, I mean, you can still kind of, if you know what you're looking for, you'll find it, but they're not going to be able to access it instantly. They're going to have to work to get it. Same thing with the neutral cover. Since I'm stripped, I've kind of got that tucked away. So again, easy to find if they know what they're looking for, but it'll at least slow them down a minute. Then I do some other tricks that, you know, I want to talk about everything on video because don't want everyone to know what I'm doing here. Hold on, trying to get through this spot here. Okay. I think that Mustang was like trying to get my attention. Did you hear him? It sounded like a V6 Mustang. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh man, the sun is right in my eyes. Ronald Reyes, hey, how you doing? There's a good side of Detroit, and if you mind your business, you won't have a problem. Well, is there a good side besides that Woodward Campus Martius part? Because that's the only one I've seen. I grew up inside Detroit. I grew up, so it sounds like you might be from Detroit. I grew up right by Hamtramck, so that's where I'm from, which is the east side of Detroit. Mike, I have almost 14K in your car already. 4 trips to Pennsylvania from the UP. Oh yeah, that's right. You're a Uper up there. Forgot. 23 mile per gallon with MDS always on. Yeah, I've only taken 1 big trip. I'm up to, check this out, 9,600 miles, and 3,000 miles of that was from my Detroit trip last August. So shows you how much I drive this car. I mean, I drive it when I need to because you can see it. I even have my passenger seat, which I need to take out before Saturday. In the far northwest, there's some affluent area called Bloomfield or some. Oh, yeah, that's not Detroit. I'm talking about within the city limits of Detroit. Yeah, Bloomfield, that's Oakland County. Oakland County is white collar. That's where a lot of like headquarters, and it's all white collar up there. That Oakland County is where you go and you'll see Mercedes and Lexus and BMWs and things like that. Whereas Wayne County and Macomb County, which is all blue collar, all you see is Fords, GMs, Chryslers. That's it. 9 out of 10 vehicles are one of those 3. Which, if you ever go there, count them. Just as you're driving, look at every car, and I promise you, maybe 1 out of 10 cars won't be a Chrysler, GM, or Ford. And it makes sense because everybody that lives and knows Macomb and Wayne County, that's where all the plants are, the factories. So pretty much everyone knows somebody that works for one of the big 3, and therefore you get an employee discount or a family discount. And so that's just how it is. They don't carjack the reprogrammed keys to your car. Well, they do all of it. All you have to do is encrypt your key. Done. Also new software if you didn't get the. Yeah, I don't want to do that update for a bunch of reasons. Well, obviously, if they do that update, they lock your key fobs, and if you ever lose them all, you have to buy new RF hub, new fob. Which the chance of that happening is. I mean, how many people actually lose all their keys? The Demon Hellcat people, they get 3 keys at least, so they really have a lower chance of losing all their keys. But I just don't like dealers. Like, I've had my Uconnect has been yelling at me that there's an update available for like a year and a half or something like that now, and I just keep putting it off. Like, I never go to the dealer. I don't want any updates. I don't want, unless the update is specifically for some like my transmission shifting issue, then okay, fine. But there's been too many nightmare stories of updates happening and it just things going wrong. So I have to like sit up here to get the sun out of my eyes. fun, you're from Detroit West Side, but you moved to Farmington Hills. I've driven through Farmington Hills, but, well, hey, I'll see. I'm going to be going out there again this August for sure, so I'll be there for Monmouth Street Hemi Shootout and the Woodward Dream Cruise. Maybe, I'm thinking it looks like Dodge is going to have like another Speed Week type thing, and they're going to do some more unveilings and stuff, so hopefully I do that. And maybe, if I can swing it, I might try to do Roadkill Nights, but that would mean I'd have to be there for 10 days. Anthony, you have 4 fobs for each 1320 and had it locked. Well, if you had extra fobs, B. Mason, don't do the update. COT is dropped way too low. I'm thinking for a second because I'm not 100% sure what COT is. COT. I feel like this is something that I should instantly know what that is. Oh, cat over temp. Really? Interesting. I have not heard that, but I have a feeling you probably did a live on that and talked about. I need to check that out. That's so, yeah, I need to see. There you go. I don't like dealers and updates and things happening, because with all these electronic, and I'm a software guy, so that is my day job. Is I am a software engineer, and it's the same thing in my job. Like I code up program a new feature, design something or fix something, and you do one thing and it breaks something else. It happens. It's part of the game, which is why you get testing and all that. But there's always some crazy edge case that you'll never catch. Like apparently this cat over temp. I'm guessing it's probably one of those things that when they came up with that, they're like, oh, they didn't expect that. And that just, common. So it is what it is. Goes Pig Rich 925 1. Oh wow, that is yeah, I would say that is for sure rich. Grand Prix downtown, can't wait, just like the 80s. Oh hell yeah, I've never seen a Detroit Grand Prix, but I do remember in the 80s when I was a kid, my dad had to go downtown for take care of some business or county stuff, some kind of government stuff, whatever you had to take care of. And it was the same time that they were doing the Grand Prix was in town, and they're doing all their, like, I don't know, not qualifying, but probably like test runs and all that. And I didn't see the cars because on the other side of the wall, the protective wall barrier they had. But man, that sounded awesome. That was one of the first times I've heard Grand Prix cars. I've always wanted to go to that Grand Prix, and then I know they moved it to Belle Isle. I do remember the other year, was it the Corvette? Yeah, I think it was the Corvette, or maybe it was a Camaro. A GM dealer was a pace car, and he lost control of his pace car and slammed it into the wall. Everyone was okay, but I remember that was like 2-3 years ago, 3, 4, I forgot how long it was. It was some time ago. So how do you rate the software in today's cars and the Challengers compared to other ones? Man, I mean, everybody praises the Uconnect. It wins awards and all that, but it does worry me. Besides, obviously, I still have that drag mode glitch where, here, I'll turn it around here. Let's go performance control, and we have drag mode set up. Wait, what the heck? Hold on. I'm gonna throw it in drive here really quick. Yeah, this is weird. I literally checked my drag mode. There it goes. Like, what the heck was that? Weird glitch. Anyway, so here you see the current modes. So I'm gonna throw it in drag. There it is in drag. And I still have that glitch where it shows engine, trans, and norm. But it is in drag. I guarantee you 100% it is in drag, because besides the fact that it's right there, but MDS doesn't kick. Well, I'm going too slow for MDS to kick on right now anyway. But you can hear it's holding the RPMs at 2,000 right now. It's not shifting. So it's definitely in drag mode. But, there's one software glitch right there. There's been other issues I've heard of 1320 owners having. Wagoneers. I was, because my wife and daughter, for some reason, my 8-year-old daughter is obsessed with Grand Wagoneers. She just really wants one. Doesn't help that my wife really wants one too. And so I've been in a lot of Wagoneer groups, and there is a ton of complaints with the Wagoneers of just electronics doing freaky things and acting weird. Okay, I need to take out drag mode. There we go. Just things not working, all those little safety nannies and all that for driving, and lane assist don't work half the time. It just seems like the Wagoneers were plagued with issues, at least the first year, the 22s. There's not many 23s out yet, so I don't know if they've improved on that. But it's something that worries me, because these cars get more and more electronics and all these systems handling everything. It's like, I don't know. It's more and more stuff is going to go wrong, and seeing what I see with the Wagoneers kind of worries me too. I should maybe try and get a job for. My wife asked me once in a while, like, why I don't try to get a job with Stellantis, because with their whole EV Day push and all that, they're talking about. And I've said this before. Stellantis doesn't want to be an auto company. They want to be a tech company. They want to be like Amazon and Apple. They want to be the largest company in the world. And right now, that's tech. A car company isn't going to be the biggest company in the world, but a tech company will be. And that's what Stellantis wants to be. So they said they were like on this push to hire like over 4,000 software people. And I thought about it for a second, but I kind of work for a small company, and I kind of like where I work. I don't know that I want to go into like a big, huge corporation type of a job. Although it would be interesting, because, you know, I do like, I'm into cars and all that. You couldn't see over the wall. You were maybe 5. Yeah, I'm 45, so I was born in 77. So I don't know when that was, mid 80s. So I was probably, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. Okay, here's, a lot of people give me crap for all the weight reduction. I'm going to admit something that I'm lacking here. I have no sun visors, and that sun is going right at me here. So that's kind of why I'm like doing this. So, I guess you can call me stupid for that reason. I'll give those naysayers that. Mike, like the original Wagoneer, all glitchy. Yeah. And obviously, when you go to forums and groups, you're obviously going to get the people with negative stuff is going to come out and talk more than the positive people. It's just natural. Like the Hemi tick and all that. It's like, how prevalent is it really, if you consider the millions of Hemis out there, and for how long? Like my 2017 Ram has no issue other than exhaust manifold tick, which I still have to fix. So, when you go in those places, it seems like something happens a lot, but really you're just hearing all the negative people, not hearing the positive people. But with the Wagoneers, I feel like you can only factor that in so much before it's like, okay, I think we may have a problem here. But I'd still get one if it's just too bad that it's so expensive. I went to the Dallas Auto Show the other month, and they were out there doing test drives. The Dodge cars, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, they all had cars out there, so Stellantis, and they had a Grand Wagoneer, and it was like Grand Wagoneer Series 3, 4x4, Obsidian. Hold on. Just gotta get over this intersection here. Whoa. I hate that hump. Anyway, it was 110,000 MSRP Grand Wagoneer, and man, that thing was nice. The front seats had massagers, like straight up back and bottom massagers. You can control like how high or low they went. You could have them focus on spot, and I'm just like, oh man, for the road trips I take, holy crap, the sun is killing me here. For the road trips I take, holy crap, those massagers would be like, man, I would love that, but I ain't affording $110,000 Grand Wagoneer, because I know those massage seats don't come in the regular Wagoneer. That's for sure. By the way, that same place, they had the Hemi Orange package Challenger. Scat, and I test drove that because it was a wide body, and I never drove a wide body. And it was interesting because they had it in valet mode. So that was the first time I ever drove a car in valet mode, because the 1320s don't have valet mode because we get the Dodge pages, not the SRT pages. So that was interesting. So I floored it, and valet mode, oh my gosh, there really is zero power there. All right, so we are coming on to an, wow, 50 minutes. Man, I'm making good time. There's a cop has some pulled over in my neighborhood. So I am actually, oh, now I gotta get through these alley kids. I have like this group of like 10 kids that play in the alley. And so you always gotta go super slow right here. And they're still throwing the basketball. Don't be throwing that basketball while I'm driving by you here. Don't need a basketball jumping into my car. Okay, and open my garage door. So we are coming to an end here, because I am at home. Backing into my garage for a little bit. Have to pull the passenger seat out for the Big Showdown, and then I gotta swap my wheels, and I will be towing this thing. Really? Why are those moved? Okay, anyway, see if anybody else chatted up here. Nope, we're all good. So we are going to draw this to a close because I am home now. Didn't quite reach an hour, but hey, I'll take it. Shorter commute, you know. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for jumping in. It was cool seeing, hey, B Mason was in here. That was pretty cool. Anthony, Mike, all you guys, a lot of regulars. So we're going, I think we got up to like 12 watchers at one time, which is like awesome for me. Again, we're going to keep doing this every Thursday. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you next week, Thursday, 6 p.m. Central.